Morning all, good morning people. Lovely jubbly. Is it lovely jubbly? Or is it lovely jubbly? It is lovely jubbly. Why have I always been saying lovely jubbly? Strange. Lovely jubbly, used to express delight or approval. Where do these things come from? Lovely jubbly. Anyway, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. I am going to repeat myself. I apologize for doing so, but we do want to get to 30,000 subscribers before September. Yeah, that's the plan. That is the plan. What are we on now? Let's have a quick check. What are we on? Let me quickly check my analytics. I'm going to give you the exact number as I film this at 9:27 in the morning. We are on 26,327. Is 30,000 realistic? It is. It is real. No, it's not. It's not really. We'll see. We'll see. All right, what should we talk about? Let's see what we can talk about. You know what we should talk about before we have a look at the other stories? AJ. Let's quickly talk about AJ and who next for him. Now, I say that, and that might sound like an obvious statement. Who next? Should be Usyk next, right? I mean, that's the fight that makes sense, right? He's WBO mandatory. But we are hearing whispers from those that know a bit more than I do about the fight game about Dillian Whyte. Now, that's a name that doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. As soon as the Fury fight collapsed, Dillian Whyte's name kind of started trending in boxing circles anyway. And as I say, a lot of people in the know are like, they expect AJ to fight Dillian Whyte before he fights Usyk. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. So let's discuss it. Who would you rather see AJ fight next? Would you rather see him fight Oleksandr Usyk, the unbeaten cruiserweight king that's come up and had a couple of fights at heavyweight, hasn't looked superbly impressive? Does that statement even make sense? I don't know, but hasn't looked very, very good, but has got the job done. Or would you rather see him take on a rematch against Dillian Whyte? Now, I would 110% rather see Usyk, but let's look at the values, the pros and cons of both. Dillian Whyte, it's a bigger commercial fight. That's true. That statement's true. It's a bigger commercial fight. Dillian Whyte versus AJ will 110% do more pay-per-views than AJ versus Usyk. It will grab the casual fans in a lot more. Like, when I think of casual fans, I think of the people that I know that are kind of just into boxing a little bit. If I ask them who is Oleksandr Usyk, they wouldn't be able to tell me. If I say who is Dillian Whyte, would you be interested in seeing Dillian Whyte versus AJ? They'll probably buy the pay-per-view. So it's going to do more commercially. That's the only benefit in AJ fighting Dillian Whyte. That's the only benefit. It's a bigger commercial fight. It's more money in the pockets for everyone. Some might say, well, that should be the biggest benefit, right? I mean, this is what you're in boxing for, belts and money. AJ's already got the belts. Now it's time to get some more money. That's it. But there's nothing else for it. Now, I will say this though, if Dillian Whyte had ran through Povetkin the first time round, so there'd been no loss, he ran through him the first time round, then someone could make an argument to say, okay, he's gate crashed that top three. At the time, the top three was Wilder, Fury, AJ. You can make an argument for it. I don't believe it, but you can make an argument for it. So it is a big fight. AJ versus Dillian Whyte's a big fight. I don't know if it's even a big fight like that anymore, with him coming off that win against Povetkin, but the loss before that. I thought the loss has kind of taken him down a little bit. But everyone is saying that, oh, look, Dillian Whyte, he deserves the shots. He's been waiting for so long, blah, blah, blah. So from a commercial standpoint, Dillian Whyte versus AJ is bigger than than AJ versus Usyk, just from a commercial standpoint. Usyk, though, from a hardcore fan standpoint, from a case of AJ ticking a box standpoint, like a big box as well, Usyk just makes so much more sense. Usyk brings a lot more danger, I think, than Dillian Whyte. It does. Not only that, if you swerve Usyk, then you have to relinquish the WBO. You relinquish the WBO, then the idea, even that dream of an undisputed fight against Fury or Wilder, it's done. Because then Usyk goes his own route, fights, it's done. So for me, all roads surely have to lead to Oleksandr Usyk. Surely. And even when I say that Dillian Whyte's a bigger commercial fight than Usyk, it's a bigger commercial fight, but not by that much. I mean, Usyk's known over here because of the Bellew fight, because of the World Boxing Super Series. So he's known over here. It's not like he's come from nowhere and no one knows who he is. Fight fans know who he is. Do the non-fight fans that tune into an AJ fight know who he is? Probably not. But fight fans know who he is regardless. It's a big fight for AJ. It's a big fight. Some might say if AJ were to fight Usyk and win, some could make the argument and say that could be his biggest win. Some might say that. Some might say it's bigger than Vladimir Klitschko. Some might say it's bigger than the Ruiz rematch. Some might say this is his biggest win. That's how important it is for AJ. So if I'm AJ and his team, yes, Dillian Whyte, it's got all that, the ingredients of two guys that really do not like each other. They don't. It's got all that spice. It will sell more tickets. It will do more pay-per-view numbers. But Usyk, when it comes to your legacy, your resume, all that good stuff is just so much bigger. So much bigger. So for me, look, it's got to be Usyk. It's got to be Usyk. I guess the reason why people are having this discussion is because, well, nothing's been announced for AJ. We know what Fury's doing. Fury's fighting Wilder. We know that, right? July end, possibly. Nothing yet for AJ. There has been rumours about August, I think 28th was a date I heard. Nothing's been announced. Why are we not announcing it? Like, what's the hold-up now? The hold-up must be because they are looking at other options. Eddie Hearn has said it's not just Usyk. Eddie Hearn has mentioned Luis Ortiz, who's put his hat in the ring. You can remove your hat. Andy Ruiz has said he'll do it. He's, I think, DM'd Eddie Hearn. And Dillian Whyte obviously is keen. Why wouldn't he not be keen? He wants that fight. For Dillian Whyte, it's huge, right? I mean, there were talks about Dillian Whyte possibly fighting in America, and a lot of the names being mentioned were the likes of Charles Martin and Trevor Bryan. I mean, come on, if that's your option, Trevor Bryan and Charles Martin, then all of a sudden AJ comes across your table, all those belts, big fight, will be a stadium fight over here. I mean, come on, Dillian Whyte's going to jump at that. He's going to jump at that. And I don't think he's going to care too much like he did the first time round about rematch clauses and all that kind of stuff. Remember, that's what happened. That's why AJ went and was going to fight Jerome Miller and then ended up fighting Ruiz because of Dillian Whyte not happy about stuff in the contract, the rematch clause. He's not going to care about that now. He's going to want this opportunity. I don't think it will happen. I think it will go to Usyk, but we'll see. I just can't see AJ vacating his WBO belt. I can't see it. And I think he wants a big fight. Again, big fight for the legacy, for the resume. Usyk's that. You don't need to fight someone that you already knocked out. All right, that's my 2 pence on it anyway. What we got here? Let's quickly run through the stories. Tommy Fury expects comfortable night's work if Jake Paul fight happens next. Cyborg, interested in Katie Taylor clash. Back Shields to do well in MMA. Katie Taylor would light up Cyborg. I like Cyborg from an MMA standpoint. In terms of these, Katie Taylor will light her up. Cyborg's tough as hell though. Be interesting to see if they were to do that fight because obviously Cyborg fights at 145 pounds. The idea of her getting down to even 140 is a no-no. I mean, she really struggles to cut weight. Cyborg struggles to make 145. Like Cyborg could easily fight at 154. She's a big woman. So yeah. As for Shields doing well in MMA, let's see how Shields gets on. She's got her first fight next month. Let's see how she looks. She has been training with John Jones and those. Hey, John Jones, talking about John Jones, he signed with Richard Schaefer. He signed a management deal with Richard Schaefer, which I find very interesting. Look, we know John Jones has been going back and forth with the UFC about what his value is, what his worth is. I don't know if Richard Schaefer can somehow... Look, Dana White just doesn't seem like the kind of person you can negotiate with, if I'm honest with you. It seems like it's his way or the highway. So John Jones has a problem here because, look, the UFC pay way more than all the rest, so way more than ONE FC and Bellator. So it's not like, okay, if you get released from the UFC, you can go to ONE FC, Bellator and make more money. I don't think you can do that. Well, maybe you can, but I don't think you can make the kind of money John Jones wants, put it that way. So it's going to be interesting to see if Richard Schaefer can get him the deal to fight Stipe or Ngannou. I do feel like it's not going to be Ngannou first. I do think it might be Stipe first. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with John Jones. But John Jones has now signed a management deal with Richard Schaefer. Logan Paul to Mayweather, June 6th is going to be the worst day of your life. I doubt that very much. This is just embarrassing. And some of you, I'd like to think not some of you watching this, but some people have put up a picture of Logan Paul saying, "Oh, Floyd's in trouble." Are you fucking taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? You must be. This is actually a disgrace. Like, by the way, Floyd, get your money. Logan, get your money. If you can get your money, right? But the idea of some people actually thinking that somehow Floyd is going to be in trouble fighting Logan Paul. Did you not watch Logan Paul versus KSI? You do realize that Floyd is one of the greatest fighters in the world, and he's not your average 44-year-old as well. Man is in great shape. Man spars and hits the bag regularly. This isn't Floyd that's just retired 4 years ago and has been drinking and fucking eating Five Guys for every day in those 4 years. Floyd is in great shape. Why do I even have to say this? Move on, Ade. Haney versus Linares. Remember doing a live watch along for that one. They've said they've appointed the judges and ref for that title fight. Linares is going to cause Haney some problems. Haney will win, I think, but Linares will cause him problems. Anything else? Miguel Bichel plans to fight 135 pounds, but return to 130 to pursue Valdez rematch. Still one of the biggest upsets, I think, recently. That's a big upset, you know. Bichel was like one of the feared fighters at 130, and Valdez put it on him. So surprised by that performance. Well done to Valdez. It's that Reynoso link up. What else have we got here? I saw something. Was it Teofimo Lopez talking about Josh Taylor? This is it. Teofimo Lopez rejects the idea of Taylor fighting the UK. That fight would be somewhere over here. But he also said something else as well. That he knew that Taylor would want to go to 147 because they're scared. They're all scared. Shut up. Why is Taylor going to be scared of Teofimo Lopez? Why do fighters do this talk? Why is Josh Taylor going to be scared of Teofimo Lopez? I like Teo. I really do. But Josh is the man at a higher weight class. Why is he going to be scared of a guy from a lower weight class coming up? He's not going to be scared of it. It's a good fight. It's a very good fight. I mean, for me, I will edge to Taylor because he's a weight class above and he's the bigger guy. And I think technically he's a very, very good... Look, both of them... I can't pick holes in both of them. Both of them are really good. Both of them are really, really good. But there's no way Josh Taylor is scared of Teofimo Lopez. No bloody way. And this bit about Teofimo rejecting the idea of fighting in the UK, I find it strange, man. How American fighters, like, don't get me wrong, people talk about the judging. Judging's fucked everywhere. Like, judging is fucked everywhere. Like, it's not just in the UK, it's in Germany, it's in America, it's everywhere it's fucked. But I hate the idea of a world champion not wanting to travel to defend these belts. Like, it's the world, it's in the title, world champion, go everywhere and fight. The idea of I just want to fight in, you know, America, or some fighters that just want to fight in my hometown. The fuck out of it, man. Travel. Experience what a crowd is like in another country. Surely you want that. I've been to big fights, not that many, I have to admit, but I've been to fights in America. I'm obviously lucky enough I've been to big fights over here, been to big fights in Africa as well. Like, I find it fascinating to hear the crowds and the reaction from all over the globe, not just one place. Get out there and fight. Like, I remember speaking to Paulie Malignaggi about a month ago, and he was like, there's nothing like the British crowd. Like, nothing. And that's crazy, because obviously, you know, he would have been to some of the big fights in America with the crazy Filipinos and the Mexicans, you know, all of that. Even some of those big fights with the Eastern European people in America. Nothing like a big fight over here in the UK. Nothing. It's madness. And he doesn't want to experience that because of, I don't know. How cold did that get? Bogdan Dinu pumped, promises to derail comeback of Daniel Dubois. When is this fight? When is this fight? This fight is the 5th of June. Not long. Good fight. Let's see what Daniel Dubois can do. Let's see how he looks. Obviously linked up with Shane McGuigan now. All right, is that it? A couple of little bits here. Shannon Briggs, Fury can't sleep on Wilder. He hits sickly hard. We know that already. Conor Ben's in America right now. Looks like he's getting a bit of sparring out there, doing his thing. I think he's done a couple of rounds, which would shock me, but I think he might have done a few rounds with Devin Haney. Don't know why I think that. Maybe it's just a picture, because surely Devin Haney has stopped sparring now. But maybe they just kind of done a little light body spar or something. I'm not quite sure. But I think it's good for Conor Benn to get out there. Especially if he is sort of doing some sparring, which I'm sure he is. Just see the different styles of the fighters out there. We Brits always get labelled with having a European style, so I always think it's good if you can go out there and see how the Mexicans fight, especially the African Americans who are very slick in the way they fight. Go out there and spar them and just learn from some of the guys out there. Did you see that? He took a photo with Teofimo Lopez, and I think it's Ellie Seckback that asked, "Hey, what did you make of his performance against against Vargas? Did you watch it?" And I feel like Teofimo kind of is like almost like it's almost like he said he didn't watch it, but he knows of kind of Conor Benn. He respects Conor Benn. I thought it was a bit of a little dig. Maybe I'm just starting trouble for no reason. But yeah, I thought it was a little dig. It was interesting as well, though, to see the size of them both. Bear in mind, Conor Benn's at 147, Teofimo's at 135, and Teofimo's got a fight coming up against Cambasso, so Teofimo would obviously be a bit smaller, and Conor Benn you'd expect to be a bit bigger. I didn't see much size difference. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? So Conor Benn, obviously, I would say is probably walking around now at about, fights at 147, 160, something like that, 160, maybe even a tad bit higher. Teofimo, who's got a fight coming up, should be, I say, 142, 143, right? He's gonna be close to his weight right now. I didn't see much difference at all in size. Teofimo is a very, very big 135 pounder, and that matchup, that sort of sizing them up, showed me already that Teofimo is definitely going to 147. Like 140 will be a little pit stop, and then 147. Anyway, look, gotta go work. Peace and love.